Chapter 3 Logan's Run. Your brother's dead, but we're alive. And if we want to stay alive, we'll have to keep moving. Logan got back to his room late, showered and changed. He pressed meal search, and dinner and a drink arrived. He sat with his drink and looked at his palm. It was changing from red to black, black to red. Last day. 24 hours to live. He picked up the key, Doyle's key. Did this key take a man to sanctuary? Was there really a sanctuary, a place where runners could escape death? If this is true, thought Logan, I must try to find it. I must destroy it. Then I can be proud of my life. He walked to the communideck, put the key in, and turned it. The screen lit up, and a girl's face looked at Logan. She was about 16, with dead eyes. "Call back later," she said. "I'm going out." "I'm calling now," answered Logan. "Have you got a name?" "Yes." "Are you going to give it to me?" Her eyes began to show some interest. "Sanctuary," Logan said the word. "Who gave you my key?" she asked. "A friend." "I'm going out." "You said that." "To a party." "I can meet you there," said Logan. She studied him for a minute. "Halstead, West End, apartment 2582. I really shouldn't invite strangers. If you aren't strong enough, I'll be in trouble." "I'm strong enough," Logan answered. She said one last thing before the screen went black. "I'm Lilith. I think you'll find me helpful." The party in 2582 was crazy when Logan arrived. A man in an orange suit answered the door. He was drunk. "Come in! Enjoy!" Logan walked past him and looked around the crowded, smoke-filled room. No Lilith. "Here, have one of these." A tall, dark-haired girl was standing in front of him, holding a large glass with something pink in it. "No, thanks." "You men are all the same, afraid of anything new." "Maybe you need a boy," Logan said. "Very funny. I'm 15. I'm a woman and I need a man." "How old are you?" "Old enough," answered Logan. He kept his right hand closed. He could feel the heat of the flower in his palm. "You're unhappy," she said. "I like that. Do you want to spend some time together?" "No. No thanks." Her voice went cold. "Loser." She turned and walked away. Where was Lilith? The door opened and a fat man with a big smile came in. His arms were full of brightly colored clothes. "The stuff's here! Time for fun, everybody!" he shouted. "Did you think I wasn't coming?" Suddenly Lilith was standing in front of Logan, dressed in a tight silver dress and high boots. "Let's talk," said Logan. "You know why I'm here." The fat man ran toward them and pushed purple bodysuits into their arms. "Get dressed and let's spy!" he shouted. "We'll work together," said Lilith. Logan went into the changing room and took off his clothes. His gun was a problem. He couldn't wear it under the skin-tight bodysuit. He hid it at the back of the closet. When he came out, Lilith was waiting for him with a large drink. "Thanks. I need this," Logan said and drank it quickly. The fat man gave everyone cameras. "Happy spying!" he shouted. Lilith and Logan climbed higher and higher inside the building. They looked down into the glass houses, filming the people in them. Logan had to be careful. Spying was illegal, and he didn't want the police to stop him. The police never questioned a Sandman, but he couldn't show the police his gun. He didn't want Lilith to know that he was a Sandman. "Here, hold my feet. I'm going down," she said. Logan held her feet. Lilith hung upside down outside a window, filming the lovers inside. She was a long way above the ground. Below her was only black emptiness. Did she really know anything about Sanctuary, or did she just love danger? When she finished filming, he pulled her up. "Can't we talk now?" he asked. "You're doing well," she laughed and started climbing again. Logan followed until they got to the roof. "Jump!" Lilith shouted. She jumped off the roof and down onto another building. Logan followed her. "Here's a good one," she said. "You film this time." Logan filmed the people inside. "Great," said Lilith. "Now we talk," said Logan. "Okay, what do you know about Sanctuary?" she asked. "I know that I want to go there." "Where did you get my key?" She watched him carefully. Logan's mouth felt strange. He couldn't stop smiling. "From the same place that all runners get theirs." He started laughing and couldn't stop. What was happening to him? He lifted off the ground. He was in space, flying in space. "Answer the question." Lilith was close, speaking quietly into his ear. Logan was singing a children's song. He was in space, looking down at himself. He watched Lilith hit his face and pull his head back. "The key! Where did you get the key?" Logan's neck hurt. He stood up. Lilith was holding on to him. The world was suddenly filled with orange light that hurt his eyes. "Did you kill Doyle?" Lilith was still there, shouting now. The orange light was warm. He wanted to sleep. "Doyle 10. Cubs killed him," he said quietly. He was lying on the roof of the building now. His body ached. Then he realized, a truth drug, in his drink. "What now?" he asked her. "Now you see Doc," she said. "Doc who?" he asked. "You'll find him in Arcade. Look for The New You. That's his place." "That was a great lift, eh?" She was smiling. "Yes, a great lift." A short time later, Logan left the walkway at Beverly Station and moved through the crowds in Arcade. Arcade was a crazy place, always busy, always filled with people. You could find everything there. Sex, drugs, relive stores. Strange sounds and smells were everywhere. Logan walked slowly, looking for Doc's. Then he saw the sign. "The New You. Fast service. Low prices. Great results." Logan went into the store. The waiting room was empty. A bored-looking girl was sitting behind a desk. "You want Doc?" she asked in a tired voice. "I want Sanctuary," answered Logan. The girl took his hand, turned it over, and looked at his palm. "Follow me," she said, sounding bored. "Follow me for the new you." She took him to a large, white room. In the middle of the room was a metal bed. Hanging above the bed was a huge machine. Table. "There's not a better one between here and Alaska," said a hard voice. Logan turned and saw a 16-year-old boy in a long, white doctor's coat. So, this was Doc. "You're a little nervous, aren't you?" Doc laughed. "That's okay. Runners are nervous people. You've come to me early. That's smart. Usually people wait until the Sandman's chasing them. It's so difficult to do good work then. So, what do you want? New face? Body too? What do you think? Just the face, Logan answered. Not much time, eh? Runners never have time. I won't ask your name. Don't want to know. You've got the key. That's good enough for me. Ballard knows who to give the keys to. Ballard, the world's oldest man. The man who, the story said, started Sanctuary. Holly will get you ready, Doc said. Don't worry about the table. They call me Doc, but I'm good with machines too. All kinds of machines. I can make anything out of anything. Believe me. While Doc was talking, Holly started to take Logan's shirt off. His gun was inside his shirt. Do I have to take my clothes off? He asked. No, the girl answered, but empty your pockets. She then took him to the metal bed. The heavy machine hung above it, with its knives, lights, and switches. Logan was terrified, but he got on. Holly tied his hands and feet to the bed. Ask him to give you dark hair, she said quietly into his ear. I like it. Anything special? Asked Doc. I can give you almost anything. You decide. Just do it, Logan answered angrily. Keep calm, Doc said. You runners are always in a hurry, always pushing me. But you won't go anywhere without Doc. Understand? You can't use the key until 9:30. We have time. Plenty of time for the new you. He started pulling switches, and the machine began to move down, nearer to Logan. An alarm suddenly sounded, and the machine stopped. Did you empty your pockets? He did, Holly answered. Well, something's wrong, said Doc. Before Logan could speak, Doc pulled open his shirt. A gun! We have a Sandman! Lock the door, Holly, he shouted. You've seen my hand, said Logan. I'm on last day. How can I be a Sandman if I'm running? You have a gun, said Doc. Only Sandmen have guns. Okay, but I'm not the first Sandman to run, shouted Logan. Why should I believe you? Answered Doc. You're going to get more than a new face. He pulled a large red switch, and the table came to life. Sharp knives lowered from the machine. Logan tried to free his hands, but he couldn't. One of the knives caught his knee. Another cut his right shoulder. Down it came again, cutting the tie around Logan's right hand. Logan reached for his gun, and Doc and the girl ran out of the room. Logan quickly freed his other hand and his feet and jumped off the table. The machine was now attacking the metal bed, metal against metal, screaming. Logan tried to plan his next move. He needed a second key from Doc to continue his run. He had to get him. He kicked open the door and ran through the dark building. Something flew out of the shadows and hit his arm. He dropped his gun. His arm felt like ice. A popsicle. Doc was coming toward him now, holding the shining police ice stick. One hit on your chest froze your body in seconds. Death. Logan waited. When he could see Doc clearly, he kicked him in the stomach. Doc fell to his knees, screaming. Logan gave another strong kick to Doc's head. The boy fell silently to the ground. Logan quickly searched the boy's pockets. No key. Then he heard a noise from the next room. He moved carefully to the door and opened it slowly. Holly was standing against the wall, holding a knife to her heart. She was terrified. Logan lifted his gun to shoot. She pushed the knife into her chest, and the world ended for Holly 13. Doyle? Doyle, is that you? A drugged voice came from the darkness. Logan walked farther into the room. A dark-haired young woman was getting up from a bed. Her eyes were sleepy. It's me, Jessica. Her fingers carefully felt her new face. A runner, thought Logan. Her hand is changing color, but why does she think I'm Doyle? And did she get the key? Do you have the key? He asked. Doyle, you don't look like my brother now. You don't even sound the same. They've changed us both. So, she was Doyle's sister. Listen, said Logan. Do you have the next key? She was completely awake now. He saw her take something silver out of her pocket. A key. Logan took it from her. Did Doc give you any information? Do you know what to do? Yes, he told us to use a tunnel under Arcade. I know where it is. All right, let's go. He followed her to an elevator. When they got out, he took her hand and they ran along the maze platform. Logan pushed the key into a call box on the platform. A maze car sped out of the darkness and stopped. The door opened and they climbed in. Where to? Asked the car. Sanctuary, said Jessica. The car sped through the maze tunnels. When it stopped, Jessica didn't move. They can change the color of a man's eyes, but they can't change the man inside. You aren't my brother, she said. He's dead, Logan told her. Jessica's face became hard. You killed him. No, but I saw him die. He gave me his key. He wanted me to have it. Jessica started to cry quietly. Logan didn't know what to say. A Sandman doesn't feel sorry. He does what he has to do. Listen, your brother's dead, but we're alive. And if we want to stay alive, we can't stop moving. Please exit, said the car. They got out and the car sped away. They looked around slowly. This wasn't Sanctuary. But where was it? Why were they here? It was a dark, ugly, dirty place. Trash lay everywhere. What now? Logan asked himself. Listen, Jessica said. They heard a small child's voice in the maze tunnel, singing a children's song. Sandman, Sandman, go away. Don't come back another day. A small girl in a dirty dress walked slowly onto the platform. Her face was dirty, and her hair was a mess. She had thin little legs and wore no shoes. Don't be afraid, she said. I'm Mary Mary too. Logan stepped out of the shadows. What are you doing here? Oh, he told me to meet you. Who did? Logan asked. The little girl's eyes became big and round. He did. The old man. What old man? Jessica asked. You know, he's the oldest man in the world. Ballard. The little girl took a key from her pocket. He told me to give you this. Do we use it now? Logan asked her. The little girl didn't speak. She put her hands up and showed 10 fingers. A yellow flower shone in her right hand. 10 o'clock, said Jessica. Logan checked the time. We have 12 minutes. Jessica looked into the little girl's eyes. Where do you live, Mary Mary? Here, answered Mary Mary, smiling. Why aren't you in a nursery? I'm very smart. But don't you get hungry? You can catch things to eat. I'm really fast, but I never go upstairs. The bad people are there. They chase you. Cubs, thought Logan. Goodbye now. You're a nice old lady, Mary said to Jessica, and she walked away. She shouldn't be here, said Jessica. Alone in a place like this? She should be in a nursery with other children. A nursery can protect you. Did it protect you? Were you happy? Asked Logan. Yes, Jessica answered. Of course. She sat on the ground and rested her head on her knees. No, I wasn't, she said after a minute. I thought that everybody lived that way. I was never really happy there. Children should be with their parents. Brothers and sisters should be together. She looked up at Logan. And you? When did you begin to think that sleep was wrong? I don't know, really. I heard the stories, of course. About Ballard? And about Sanctuary? Oh, I wanted to believe those stories when I was a little girl. Suddenly there was a scream from the tunnel. Mary ran out, chased by a gang of cubs. A wild-looking 13-year-old was at the front. Bad people! Bad people! She shouted and ran into Jessica's arms. What do we have here? Runners, said the oldest cub. 5 minutes, thought Logan. We only have 5 minutes. You're older than the others, aren't you? He asked to the boy at the front. You'll be 21 one day. What will you do then? You'll run, just like us. I'm not a runner. Never will be. The boy took something out of his pocket and put it into his mouth. Muscle. He ran toward Logan. Kill him! Get him! The other cubs shouted. 4 minutes. Logan couldn't fight them all. He had to use the gun. He took it out and shot a nitro. It exploded into the group. Body parts flew everywhere. You're a Sandman, shouted Jessica. There was hate in her eyes. 2 minutes. Logan ran to a coal box and put his key in. A maze car sped toward them, stopped, and opened its door. Get in, Logan shouted to Jessica. He pushed her into the car, and it raced away into the night.